Hello my YouTube friends. I think we're recording now. We're going to take a little ride in the Geo Tracker. And so there's some things I want to share with you guys today. And just some different topics. But let's see if we can get this thing baby to start. It usually starts on the second time. I don't know why. But we're going to take a little ride. We're going to try out the GoPro Hero 3 Plus. I've had this camera for a while, and I really like it, but I haven't used it in a long time because I've been using my Canon D60 for my YouTube videos. And I really like my YouTube stuff. I have a really cool channel. It's called Audio Master, and I do, pretty much teach a lot of audio techniques, and I do some reviews on some things. I typically don't like to do that too much because everybody has their own opinion about what they like to wear and whatnot. But today I thought I'd get my GoPro out and do some recording in my Geo Tracker. And so I really like this. It's a 1995 Geo Tracker. I'll tell you a little story how this kind of went. Is I was really wanting a Jeep, and I don't know if you've shopped Jeeps these days. They really hold their value, but for a decent Jeep, you're talking 60,000 plus. By the time you end up tricking it out, it could be even more. So I really don't want to ever spend that kind of money on an automobile unless I was just a millionaire. But I really had my heart set on a Jeep. And to get a decent Jeep, a second hand, you'd probably have to spend about $24,000, somewhere in that range, to get a decent second hand Jeep. And even then, I really didn't want to spend 20 grand on a second hand car. I have an F-250 that has 130,000 miles on it, and it really is a good truck when it's paid off. But I wanted a Jeep for the beach to kind of cruise around in, and four-wheel drive. And so I really had my mindset, you have your mindset on a certain vehicle, and that's what you want. And I wanted a white Jeep. And so I just kind of, I remember my dad teaching me something years ago. He said, whenever you want to buy something, if you just kind of wait on it a few days, think about it, instead of spontaneous buying something, a lot of times you won't end up buying it because, your mindset will change. You won't desire that any longer, or, maybe something else will come along. So anyway, I put that into practice, and I was frustrated with, the Jeep thing. And I have an RV park at the beach, and a friend of mine that stayed there before called and said, hey, we're coming down, and she knew I was looking for a Jeep, and she said, you ever seen a Geo Tracker? And I said, what is a Geo Tracker? And she says, well, I'm bringing it, and I'll show you. And so about 2 hours later, they show up, and she whips around the corner in her little purple Geo Tracker and jumps out of it and says, hey, Rainy, why don't you get in it and take a ride? And I'm like, okay. So I get into her little tracker, and it's a standard, and I cruise around in a little bit and drive it back, come back and say, Paula, you gotta sell me this. You gotta sell it to me. I love it. It's like riding in a little go-kart. I really like it. It's four-wheel drive. It's perfect. She says, no, we had to do a lot of research and finding one. We found one in Tennessee and drove all the way to Tennessee to get it, and I don't think David will sell it. So I was like, man, you know, what's the tease? You know, I mean, golly, you brought it down here for me and told me to drive it and everything, and you you won't sell it to me. And I hope I'm getting in the camera. I really need. This is my first time to set this up, so I don't know if I'm getting in the viewfinder or not. But anyway, back to the story. And so I came back home and got online and started looking for geo-trackers. And a friend of mine was in the car business, and he knew a few people to call, and he called and contacted this person in Dallas, up at the top of Dallas, and they had a white one. It had 130,000 miles. Let's see if I can get this right. It had 130,000 miles. It was a 1995 or 6. And the guy says, hey, you know, this is a really, really good one. I put it on the lift. I'm going to send you pictures of the underneath of it, show you there's no rust on it. He says, I want $4,500 for it. And I got a lady looking at it, I'll be honest with you. But this is probably one that I buy these things because they sell like hotcakes. And this is probably one of the cleanest one I've ever had. Now, keep in mind, it was white. And I was like, and he said it had 6 owners. So I was like, look, man, I'm gonna come. Let me just think about it overnight, and I'll let you know in the morning. Well, the next morning, Paula had messaged me on Messenger and said, hey, Randy, David found one, and it's at the top of Jasper, which is probably about an hour drive from you. And the guy wants $6,500 for it, and she sent me pictures of it, and I was like, oh my gosh. So I called the other guy back, and I said, I'm going to look at another one. If you can sell the white one, sell it. So the guy that owned this one and wanted $6,500, I talked to him on the phone, and he says, I got a lady looking at it, and she's going to be back, but if you tell me you're coming today, I'll hold it for you. He says, I won't take anything less than $6,500 for it. And this one had 68,000 miles on it, 2 owners instead of 6, and was originally like in the Oklahoma area or around there, the first owner. And so there's 0 rust on this thing, man, 0 rust. And I was like, man, okay. So anyway, I brought the cash. I brought $6,500. And when we got there, I was able to talk him down. Actually, it wasn't so much me, it was my friend who was in the car lot business forever. We drove together in case that I did buy this, that he would, I would be able to drive it back and whatnot. So anyway, he ended up talking him down, or between the two of us, we ended up talking this guy down from $6,500 to $5,400. So, less than 80,000 miles in 1995 is just really good, man. Everything checked out. I test drove it, put it in 4-wheel drive, drove it around in 4-wheel drive, and just fell in love with it, man. I mean, after I drove it, see, it has a 4-wheel drive, and then it has a 4-wheel drive low, which is even lower than that. And it just started, kind of crawling around. And I was like, oh man. I mean, it didn't take me long to decide on wanting to buy this tracker. And so I was just stoked, man. And we stopped on the way back, about halfway, and I put some gas in it. So it takes me, here in Texas, it takes me about $16 to fill this tank up, man. And it's in my truck, it takes me about $65 to fill it up. So if you think about it, $65 a week, that's pretty much another car note, a monthly car note, brand new. And so, man, I did that for years. And that's why I really wanted this, you know, something smaller, a Jeep to ride around in, which you really don't get a whole bunch better gas mileage. But this little tracker, I can go a whole week on $16, man. Unless I drive to the beach and then, you know, it's driving there and then, you know, still got to put a little gas in, but it's nothing compared to the $65 deal. And so I still have my truck, I still have my tracker, but I do most of my riding around in this little tracker, and I really, really love it. It's probably been the funnest car that I've ever owned since my MGB. I had a 1980 MGB, that convertible, and it was always giving me trouble until I pretty much reworked the whole motor and the whole electrical system. I had those Lucas type electrical parts and connectors in the wiring system, and they're crap. But anyway, after reworking everything and fine-tuning everything, I finally got the MG to run great. It was so much fun. But this is four-wheel drive, and this thing, man, I'm telling you, man, it's just, I just love this little car. It really is. It reminds me of, it kind of takes me back to the days when I was 18, 19, 20 years old, driving my MG, and just loved it, man. Got all kind of looks driving. And this one is kind of a teal color, or teal green color, and I've tricked it out a little bit. I put some LED lights underneath it on the inside. I put a double din radio in it, JVC. I've got kicker 4.5s in the dash. I ended up putting 6.5 Alpines in the back. And it's 50 watts per channel on the radio, front and rear, but I'm probably going to get a 4-channel amplifier and run it off the amp instead of the power of the radio, and get much more power by doing it that way, and a cleaner power. I can turn the radio up to about 35, which is all the way, and it pushes the speakers pretty hard, but it ain't pushing them, you know, half of what they can take as their power rating. And I think I can probably get true wattage out of this. It says 50, but I'm probably only getting like 20. And so I really I am excited about, you know, just keep tricking it out, keep doing little things. I got new rims and tires on. I think I showed you guys in one of my past videos that I made driving around the tracker. Excuse me, hang on a second. But yeah, it's really kind of cool. If I ever paint this tracker, I'll paint it the same color. And back to the color is everywhere I go, people love this color. I mean, it doesn't matter, you know, how old you are, how old they are. I've had black, back in the day, I've had people say, like, you know, oh, well, I had my sister say, oh, she says, I really like the color. She's the only one. I really like the color, but but that's more of a girl color. And I'm like, you're the only one that ever said that. I mean, like, she said, but I like the color. And so I've had everybody, like I say, from, you know, 16 years old to 50 years old, love this color. So I'd never really want to change it. I was thinking about white, and then after I started thinking about it, I was like, you know, it's funny how you change, you know, your taste changes. And it's like, I was wanting that white Jeep so bad, and I had my mindset on that white Jeep so bad, and this came around, this little tracker, and I'm so glad I ended up getting the tracker. I mean, I can't think of myself driving a Jeep like that Jeep over there when you've got these trackers out here, man. You know, they're kind of hard to find. And if you do find one, a lot of them, you know, just have been neglected and been, you know, just driven hard, ridden hard. And so when I found this one with two owners and under 70,000 miles, man, I was just really stoked about getting it. But thank you guys for joining along. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, my YouTube channel, please do, because I have a lot of exciting things coming up. We're going to end up eventually building a recording studio, which if you can check out some of my other videos and check out that. I really love the audio side of everything, and recording, mixing, mastering, the whole 9 yards. Look at that pretty house right there, man. That's really nice and clean. But anyway, I really like doing that. That's kind of like my forte, and I've been doing that since I've been recording back when stuff was all analog. I've been recording back when, you know, probably I'd say 86 or 87. I started getting into the recording with reel-to-reels and the old Tascam reel-to-reels, and it was back then. It was cutting tape and splicing tape, and everything's, you know, in your DAW now, and so it's a whole new world of mixing and mastering now, and it's really, really fun. I really dig it. So check out my channel, man. You got to subscribe to my channel and hit that thumbs up and ring that bell, man, because I really like doing a lot of different cool stuff. I mean, I'm not really just a one-trick pony type guy. I mean, yeah, I know a lot about audio and recording and playing and mixing and writing songs and the whole 9 yards, just because I've been doing it for so freaking long, and read and suck up everything I can. But I'm really kind of a versatile type person that just enjoys life, enjoys, you know, having a good attitude and believing that what you put out there will come back to you. And the seeds you sow will be the seeds you reap, man. And I'm really, really a firm believer in that. Some people call that karma or whatnot. But I just like to think that that's our purpose here, is to be a good encourager, encourage other people to do great things, because everybody is really talented in areas that they need to be told, and they need to be lifted up, man. And they need to be, you need to tell them and encourage people to pursue their dreams and never give up. And it's just something that's lacking in our society today. I mean, I don't know why, but I've always encouraged, you know, my nephews and my family and my friends and people I meet, just to, you know, be happy with themselves and not try to change people, man. So many relationships, that's why relationships are just screwed up, because, you know, either the male or the female will find somebody they really, really like, and they start dating, and they start going out, and they start having a good time, sex is great, everything's great, and then one of them wants to change the other person. It's you know, why do you want to change me, or why does the other person want to change that other person? Well, that's when they fell in love with that person. I don't, you know, that I don't get. And so anyway, this you know, life is strange, man, you know, but hey, I just really wanted to get on here and try out my GoPro, my Hebrew. Like I say, I haven't recorded on it in a while. I hope I'm recording. I hope I'm in the screen, and just get on here and chat with you guys, because my YouTube channel, although it has been growing, there's certain things about it I really don't understand as to why. You can go up in your watch time hours, and if a certain month comes around, it's not getting the hours it got last year, it seems, you go down. And I was like 60%, 80% there of getting all my hours to be monetized. It was at 68%, and then it dropped down. I looked at it today, it was 66%, and I'm thinking, yeah, I haven't been making that many YouTube videos lately, just simply because I've been busy with other things. But my subscribers have been going up, But they're giving me less watch time hours, man. So I'm like, so that's, I'm on here. I'm doing this video today, and if you like audio or anything to do with audio or anything of that nature, please subscribe to my channel. So I'm gonna get out of this little neighborhood right here. This is a little neighborhood that's close to my house. I really kind of wanted to stay in it because I really didn't have to drive fast. I really didn't have to worry about too much being out. But I'm gonna take you down. I'm gonna take you down a little. This is Calder Avenue right here. This is a. If I go right, it pretty much will take you all the way downtown. But I'm gonna keep you in the West End. This is called the West End part of my little city here, and we've been having some terrible weather. And another reason I haven't really done a lot of videos is I'm just now, I think I'm getting well. I'm not even sure because I'm still hacking up crap. But I've just been sick for 3 freaking months, man. We had a chemical plant that blew up, and the first thing they said on the news was that it could cause upper respiratory problems along with the back of your neck, feeling stiff, and if you see these symptoms or whatever, get to the doctor or whatever, blah blah blah. Well, I've been to the doctor twice. This is my second time through my second antibiotics. So I actually got sick with this 3 days before Christmas. So I still have my Christmas presents still wrapped up at the house, and haven't even given them to my family yet because I came down with this crap, and I didn't get a sore throat. My sinuses were all jacked up, but it went right to my upper respiratory, right to my upper chest. And now, even though it's clear and I'm not wheezing or anything, it's still like every now and then after a hot meal I can still cough up a bunch of crap, and I know I'm not 100% well, man. And it's scaring me because I really don't want to get pneumonia. But I've already spent, between my doctor visits and the medicine that he's given me this month alone, without Christmas, over $800 in medicine and doctor visits trying to get over this crap. And so that's one reason I haven't been doing videos this month. And so this right here, I'm on Dallin right here. Dallin is a real popular area in the West End, and we have literally gotten probably over, I don't know, I would say within the past year, 20,000, 30,000 people that's moved in to our city just because of the expansions that are going on in the chemical plants around here. And I guess a lot of people from California and a lot of people from Florida, all over, are moving here just because I guess they're sick of what's going on in our political system. I don't know. But this is Jason's Deli over here. This is one of my favorite places to eat lunch. I love eating lunch there, man. It's really, really, really good. And it's a local company, sandwich shop that opened up here, I'd say 30, 40 years ago. And they're now a franchise, so maybe your city has one. But this is such a cool little town. I grew up here. My family has 5 generations here in this town. And now our city is rated up with just about one of the most crimes there is. It's went from a really, really peaceful, cool town to, after Katrina, we had a lot of people move in from New Orleans, and that's when things really started getting kind of crazy as far as the crime and everything. But it's a lot of so we're rated way up there with Houston, Dallas. I think we have more, as far as percentage rate per people or whatever, we have more crime rate than here than Houston and Dallas, man. So we're way up there on that end. But overall, the people that you know, grew up here, the people that's lived here all their life, like me, and generations back. This is just a really good town to live in. My son wants me to get out of here. He actually wants me to move to where he's living. He's living in Conroe, Texas. But I think if I ever moved out of here, I think I'd want to move to League City. That's where I have family there too, in League City. And League City is a growing city. It's very, very clean and industrial, and everything's new. You drive down the streets in League City or Conroe, and there is not a hole in the street. All the infrastructure is really, really nice and clean. There's no problems with anything. In Beaumont, the streets are terrible. And as you can see, there isn't any bad cars around here. Everybody's pretty wealthy. And you're thinking, you know, how are all these wealthy people living here with all these industrial plants around here? Tons of money, right? Big money. And the streets are like crap. Now, I'm probably on one of the smoothest streets right here, but I mean, the streets are really terrible in this city, man. And so all the little jitters and bumps and stuff, hey, man, we in the sticks, we in the woods, man. The woods and the hoods. No, but I'm actually taking you through, you know, through the West End part. It's a nice area. But my little tracker, back to my little tracker, you guys. I've been trying to get my brother to buy one so that we can both kind of trick them out together and have something to do, to work on together. He is a workaholic. He loves working more than, I mean, if he's not working and making money, he's not happy, man. I mean, that's his mentality. Money is, he's a true lover of money. But not that I don't like nice things or anything like that. Look at this guy right here, man. Why don't y'all read the signs, man? You know, they wait. Look, they got all this barricaded out, and they wait till they get to the last minute to get over. Anyway, so but he loves. I want to talk him into getting a tracker, and it doesn't matter really what he gets. He can get any tracker he wants to get. I mean, I'll help him fix it up. I can paint. I'm pretty handy at doing stuff like that, and I like taking something old. And I like revamping it. I like bringing it back to life. I like taking something broken and making it good, better than it ever was. And so that's what I'm gonna do with this little tracker right here, man. I've already undercoated the whole underside of it, and so when I go on the beach or whatever, and it won't rust out. And I'm a firm believer, whenever you get on the beach, you got to wash your car immediately underneath it and whatnot to get all that salt off of it. But I undercoated the whole thing. I bought this bumper paint. I've been watching some YouTube videos on bumper paints, from Rust-Oleum to different brands that can rejuvenate your bumper and make them turn plastics to look new again. So I'm gonna do the front bumper, the back bumper, and I'm excited about doing it. But as you can see, the weather just hadn't been right. We've been having all this rain, and it's probably about, you know, the weather's just so jacked up, man. It's been getting cold and then hot. I think today's like 70, and tonight it might get in the 60s. But we're in January, and the clover's already out. Typically we don't have clover in the grass until March, and so the seasons are all jacked up. I don't even think the seasons know what time of year it is, man, because it gets cold and hot and just the craziness in the weather. But this street that I'm on right here is called Delaware, and there's some really, really nice homes in here too as well. And I have some friends that live her place, and right up here on the left. But really nice. This is probably one of the other nicest streets here. As you can see in the background, these homes are just huge. They're monsters. And monstrous mansions. But it's big money. And a lot of growth out here. Like I say, everybody's moving in from different states and whatnot. And it's just a nice place that it'll probably continue growing. They need to get a little grip on the crime thing, but it's mainly juvenile stuff. It's mainly a lot of the kids these days don't. Watch out, old man. Ease on back. A lot of these kids, man, have no respect for life or for other people or their possessions or whatever. Just the other day at the mall, they had some teenage girl, was painting the cars in the parking lot, man. And it's just because of daddy issues, man. These girls that are raised without dads, they're the worst to date. They have issues with how to cope and how to treat other people. They like ghosting people. They don't know how to settle their problems. They don't even know how to communicate. They text everything. A lot of it has to do with that, man. But this is Thomas Road right here. This is a really, really nice. It's been here forever, and some really, really nice homes in this area. And I used to do a lot of landscaping. That was really my occupation for a long time. And so a lot of my clients live down here on the street. And now I just, I still have a lot of clients, but I just do a lot of design work, and I contract it out to other people to do. But so I draw, and between that and I would really just say I'm a kind of an entrepreneur type guy, and I'm a tinker, so I like to tinker with different things and do different things. So that's why I have my YouTube video, because as a hobby that turned into somewhat of a profession in the music industry, I did recording and mixing and mastering and all that good stuff like that. But anyway, I think people just should do what they love and love what they do. And life is short, and we're not guaranteed tomorrow. And so, just have fun with it. Have fun with life, and don't get caught up in being so serious. But just whatever you do it your best, and share your knowledge with others. Be a giver. But know your worth is the most important thing I can tell you. And when people treat you bad and want to just just treat you bad, don't put up with it, man. Brush your pants off, move on, and never look back. Never look back. You can love everybody, but you don't have to put up with everybody's what. So be firm in your beliefs, and don't waver. Say what you mean what you say, and make your yeses be yes and your no's be no, and you'll do good, man. So we're back on Calder, and I'm just kind of whipping around here showing you the town a little bit. And hang on a second, man. So I'm hoping my GoPro is picking me up okay. I'm hoping the audio's okay. I'm hoping all this is good, because you don't buy these people right here what they're doing. But yeah, man. So we're back on Calder right now, and I just want to take you guys around the Big B, show you what it's like in this little general area that I'm in. Glad you joined along, and if you guys have any ideas on the tracker as far as a lift kit goes and what type of lift kit I can put on this, I was really just wanting to do something. I've got tires and rims and I really like them, but I don't really want to lift it up too much. I really want to keep it street. So I was thinking if they had something to where I could just put like a 2-inch on the front and nothing on the back, to where the front's more level. I guess what I'm asking for is a leveling kit, to where, you know, the front of the tracker and down like this is more, maybe just even a little bit, where the front's a little higher than the back, just a little bit. If you know what I need to do that, and around approximately the cost would be, like, so when I go somewhere to get it done, they won't just, you know, jack with me on the price and try to jack me up. But a good fair price on a leveling kit and getting the work done. If you guys know what I need, please send that in. Please, you know, private message me or whatever, or message me on this post, and I'd really appreciate it. But anyway, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for joining in today. Thanks for all your comments that you leave. I appreciate all your comments, and when you do leave your comments, I always like to get back to you, man. And please hit that subscribe button and ring that bell, man, because I got a lot of cool stuff going on, a lot of cool videos that's going to be coming out, especially when the recording studio starts being built. I'm going to take you through a walkthrough of that thing, man, and every day that we got our guys on the studio building it, I'm going to be doing videos as it goes in the progress of it. And it's going to be built out of cinder block, and it's going to be rooms inside of a room. So it ought to be pretty soundproof. And I'm looking really forward to getting that started. And of course, that's going to depend on the weather as well. But it's in the making, and we will get it done. I can't promise you when we're going to start, and I can't promise you how long it's going to last to get it done. But we're going to have some cool equipment in there. We're going to have the Trident board in there, and I'm excited about getting that board. And so we're going to be using the preamps and the EQ on the Trident, and then once I go through all that and some of my universal audio compressors and LA2A compressor, I'm going to have distressors and fatsos and a couple things like that as my printing. Then I'm going to do everything else in the computer with Waves plugins. I love their plugins. It's badass stuff, and can't wait to get in the studio and take people's stuff and, man, just ramp it up and make it sound great. Do some great recordings and stuff. So anyway, you guys, thanks for joining in. Please hit that subscribe, ring that bell, and we will see you again.